Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds.
Hey everybody, this is Evan and John, and you're listening to the Boomer and X Show.
Welcome to the Boomer and X Show, everybody. We're excited this evening because we have a very special guest with us here in the studio. Are we recording, Evan?
Yes, we're recording.
Awesome, we're recording. Katie Eddington.
That's my wife.
That's your wife. I'm just going to go down the line of some of her accomplishments.
Hit them with the facts.
Yeah. She's got a Bachelor of Science in Athletic Training from University of Louisiana Lafayette. She obtained in 2012. She's a running coach, a weight loss coach, and a personal trainer. She's completed 2 marathons and a half marathon, and she is currently training for the Zydeco Half Marathon that's going to be run here in Lafayette on Sunday morning, March the 8th. She has also competed in WBFF and NPC bikini competitions. She's a member of Team Ledbetter and ambassador for I Live Limitless and a Cellucor affiliate. In addition to all of those things, she just this past Friday launched a fledgling television career that we will get into.
That's quite a list.
In a little bit. It really is quite a list. And I'm beginning to think that you may have married multiple women.
Oh, I know. All I can do is just try and support her through everything.
Katie, welcome to the show.
Hello.
And thank you for joining us. So let's start off with your current affiliations and your bikini competitions.
Yes.
Let's talk about those a little bit. I know that you had one in Colorado last summer.
Yes.
And you had one here in Lafayette. When was that?
That one was August. It
Okay.
was August 19th.
So tell us a little bit about those and your membership with Team Ledbetter and what Team Ledbetter is all about and about these competitions.
Ledbetter was started by Joshua Ledbetter, and he was actually born 100% deaf. And so when he started out with his company, he basically started out because no one would hire him anywhere because of his hearing deficit and things like that. But so he started the company, and I found out about it 2 years ago now, almost 3 years ago. And so I started training with them and doing different meal preparations and things like that, and different macro counting and just...
Now, for those in our audience that aren't into fitness that much, what exactly is macro counting?
Macro counting, your body has 3 main macros that it intakes whenever you eat food. It's fat, carbs, and proteins.
Okay.
And so basically every single person is different compared to their body type, age, gender. So you figure out what your set number is, and then you figure out how much you eat of that each day and things like that. So with Ledbetter, I started on a reverse diet before I did my competition prep. So what I did was I upped my fat and my carb intake for did it for about a 14-week period, and I got up to 300 carbs a day. And then for my competition prep, it was a 20-week decline in what I was eating for the cutting phase. So that way when I cut down for my competitions, it wasn't just a sudden drastic change. It actually was done in a healthy manner to where I didn't have to deplete my body of all its nutrients.
And does the reverse diet, the increase before the decrease, that has a specific purpose?
Because you're teaching your body to work at a higher rate, so your metabolism is increasing on a higher food intake too.
Okay. Tell you what, it also teaches you is to make your husband, I hear she's training for a bikini competition, and I see the amount of food she's eating. I'm like, what in the world? I want to sign up for this. And it's not a diet. And I kept saying, I'll whatever diet it is, I want a part of it. And it's just she's following her macros, and that's
yeah.
So what are some of the things that you and some of the amounts that you would intake during the first part of this on your build up?
The increase in the very beginning I started out, I think I was at 167 grams of protein a day. And that went up
So
throughout
pretty much
the process.
a turkey a day?
If not more. And then the fat intake, I think it was around 67 grams when I started, and then when I initially started, it was at 300 grams of carbs, but that cut back to 250 and slowly cut down. By the time I competed in my second competition, on my high days, I was up to 185 grams of protein. Fat was at, I think, 45 or 50 grams. And then my carb intake on my lowest day got down to 50 grams because my body just wasn't responding in the beginning to the cut. But that didn't last very long. I would have a day that was 50 grams, then a 75-day gram, then a 100-day gram of carbs. So it switched it up so my body wasn't getting used to the same intake of food. It was making it change.
So you're at a minimum level, but it's not a precise minimum at the last day. It sort of varies in a range.
Yeah, it was a different, because I was carb cycling is what I was doing. Because the whole basis of the macro counting is to live a balanced, healthy lifestyle. Mm-hmm. You don't, that's not telling you to go eat Pop-Tarts every single day of the week. You need nutrient-dense foods in your body to make it run properly. But it's also teaching you not to be fearful of different foods.
So this is specifically in gearing up for your bikini competitions.
Yes.
You do not have one of those coming up in the near future, do you?
No.
And let's go ahead and just real quickly mention why you do not have one of those coming up in the future.
Because I'm pregnant.
As of when you run in the half marathon on March 8th, how far along will you be?
When I run my half marathon, I will be 19 weeks and 3 days pregnant. So I'll be about halfway through my pregnancy.
Do you intend on getting back into the bikini competitions afterwards?
Yes, the bikini competitions, I think it helped me to realize that I was pregnant because I was so in tune with my body at the time that...
So you realized early?
Yeah, I was 3 weeks.
Okay.
And I had symptoms already as soon as we figured out something was off, and I didn't know what it was. So I had a lady at work. She's like, "I think you're pregnant." I was like, "No, yeah." So.
Describe your Cellucor affiliation for us.
Cellucor, it's a brand, and they do supplements for protein powders. They do different type of products for cutting if you're getting ready for competitions or just everyday life, trying to increase metabolism and things like that. They do different muscle gainers for people that are wanting to increase their muscle mass, but they have a lot of different options. So my affiliation through them is that anybody that uses my code through their website, they get 25% off plus free shipping with anything they use.
And you're also an ambassador for I Live Limitless. What is that exactly?
That is a company. It was created by Brendan Malassa, and he's actually in Canada. And he contacted me, actually, Instagram, social media. And it's a brand new company. He's trying to get it off the ground. It's a clothing line right now of different tanks and shirts. And
so is it a fitness-specific clothing line?
Yeah, he does do a lot of fitness clothes, but even some of them, you could do on a daily basis.
So some of it's just regular wear.
Yeah.
I see.
He does a lot of charity.
Yes.
Donations.
He just started with the Ronald McDonald House, and there's another one in Canada that he just started that the income that he gets through the company, the proceeds go towards those charities.
And this is, again, I Live Limitless. I guess we'll probably post a link to their site on our...
I Live Limitless, right?
Yes, I Live Limitless.
We'll post a link to their site on our page when we air this. So what was your first interest in fitness? What was your motivation? What got you going down this road to begin with?
Well, fitness. I guess the fitness probably started when I was 14. I started playing soccer and running and doing that sort of activity. But the reasoning behind it, too, when I was 8, I had a brother that passed away in a car accident. When I was 14, at that time, I had my second brother pass away from cardiomyopathy. And then when I turned 20, I had a stepsister that passed away from pneumonia. So a lot of the times that my fitness and running, it was kind of more so of running away from the problem that was at hand or things that had happened. It was almost like running away from the issue. But by the time 2011, after my third sibling had passed away, I did my first marathon, and I did the Marine Corps marathon. And so the running and everything, more what I was doing is more as in to honor them rather than just I'm running to run away from it.
Yeah, and Nick, he was signed up for the Navy?
No, for the Marines. Yeah. Nick, he was my first brother that passed away. He was 17 at the time, and a month before he passed away, he had joined the Marines. So
that was your motivation for picking that specific marathon.
That was why I did. Yeah, the first full marathon I did was the Marine Corps marathon in 2011, and it started in Arlington, it started at the Arlington Cemetery.
At the Arlington National Cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It started there, then it went all the way through D.C., then back into Arlington.
And that was in 2011.
Yes.
And that was your very first one.
That was my first full marathon.
Since you started your career, what's been has there been a moment? Has there been a moment of clarity for you that says, this is what I was meant to do, this is where I'm meant to be?
There's probably been multiple moments that have done that. With it being my career and what I do, the people the lives you touch and how you see their reactions and how that changes their lives, with not only that fitness aspect of it, but with how your story and how that it makes them to open up and I guess get more in tune with themselves as people. It makes it a very humbling type of career. And these ladies that happen to be overweight and they look at me, and I mean, I've never been morbidly obese or extremely overweight. I'm fit, so they look at me and they're like, you're young, fit, active. They're like, how can I get any advice from you on what you can tell me? And so I had a lady one time, she wasn't listening, and I looked at her and I was like, are you understanding anything I'm saying? And she's like, I don't have to listen to you. And I was like, well, why not? She goes, well, you don't understand what it's like to be where I'm at. And when we're telling her, I was like, first off, I was like, let's sit back. And because actually when I was 10, my mom, she had a gastric bypass because she weighed 365 pounds. So I've seen that where she was overweight. It runs in my family. I said, but also too, I said, I have a brother that died because he was overweight and because he was so morbidly obese because he weighed over 400 pounds. I said, so no, I've never been there. I was like, but I know where you're going to end up if you don't do something about it. So when you can kind of sometimes combine a story with them and they can see it from a different perspective, it kind of puts it more into it. And
that's pretty much fuel for what you do and why you
do
so
definitely much. Yeah. And also too, I guess aha moment wise, I guess for me personally, if you would have probably asked me a year ago if I would have had children of my own, I would have said no. I would have never given birth to children of my own. But competing in the bikini competitions this past summer, most of the ladies that I competed with were all moms. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, this mother looks like that, and she looks better than I do.
So but you knew that motherhood wasn't going to stand between you and
exactly.
The things you
and I always had this naive concept that once I became a mother, then your dreams and goals are put on hold, and to an extent they do, mm-hmm. but it doesn't mean your life stops. I don't want my child to think, oh well, they have me, or that's all my life is. I want them to know that they can have a life beyond just here and now and things like that.
Well, with regard to your to your pregnancy, and again, we touched on the fact that as you compete in your half marathon, you'll be roughly halfway through.
Yes.
Was there a time that would have been frowned upon or considered a risky endeavor?
Oh, definitely. I get a lot of feedback as a mom-to-be. You get a lot of comments of what you should and shouldn't be advice. Doing. But being a mom-to-be that's fit and active, I've noticed especially a lot of the older generation, mm-hmm. that they definitely frown upon it. Because, I mean, even my mom, she's like, now are you putting your hands over your head? Because there was a point in time where women weren't supposed to put their hands over their head for anything while they were pregnant, or else they would supposedly miscarry. That's what she used to be told when she was younger. And I was like, no. I was like, I'm good.
So we've gone from not putting your hands
over
over
your
your
head
to
to
running a half marathon.
Yeah, and that's still, it's uncommon. But if the key thing is, though, when you get pregnant, don't do anything that you've never done before. So if it's already your lifestyle and what you're doing, then it's not going to damage or affect or put any type of hindrance on your pregnancy or things like that.
And I made sure when our first doctor's visit, I made sure to ask the doctor, all right, she works out, hours, intense hours of working out. She runs marathons and she just never stops. And she plans to keep doing that. And I'm asking the doctor if that's okay.
Right.
And she's like, if she's doing it, then yeah, there's no reason to stop her.
I did take precautionary measures. Not that I didn't do it while I was pregnant, but I listened to my body more. I wear a heart rate monitor through every workout, so I'm always able to judge my heart rate if it gets too high. So those type of things I take into consideration. There's times too when I'm running that I may feel some type of pressure, or I might feel something funny pulling, and so I'll calm myself down to walk and do what I need to do instead of just trying to push through it.
Right.
Yeah.
Which beforehand you would have just pushed.
I would have probably just pushed through and be like, I'm fine, I'll be okay.
Right.
Well, it's like for the marathon, the half marathon coming up, your goal is just to finish, right? You're not going for any specific time.
No,
you're gonna walk, run it, and
yeah, just whatever my body allows. Usually, it's been pretty good. It depends on the day. It depends on what my body wants to do that day. As I've been training for it, it hasn't really been each run I can kind of judge what's going to happen. It just kind of depends on how my body wants to feel.
From a nutritional standpoint, have you changed anything during the course of your pregnancy, or will you change anything between now and the end of your pregnancy?
In the beginning, it was kind of hard to judge and do my nutrition to the way I normally do it, because I normally try to eat as healthy as I can. But because I had so much nausea that it was just an act of Congress to eat anything at all.
How long did that last?
That lasted for 11 weeks. And so from the time I would wake up, it didn't matter what time in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, I was nauseous. So trying to eat was miserable. Towards during the second trimester, so about 12 weeks into it, I was able to add more food back in, and also too, they say that the baby needs more protein because it's growing, it's starting to grow its organs and things like that too. So protein, I've increased that back up to what I normally was.
Now, neither one of you, if I understand correctly, know the gender of the child.
No.
But that is going to change soon. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break. And when we get back, we're going to talk about a very unique way that you're going to find out about whether your baby is a boy or a girl. We're back.
we are back.
Okay. So thanks for hanging around with us as we take a little break. Coming back, before we went on break, we mentioned that you don't yet know what the baby is. Neither one of you do. But there's a very interesting process that's going to go on with that. Why don't both of you fill us in a little bit?
Alrighty. So at my next doctor's appointment, I'll have my ultrasound. And my mom and Evan will actually find out what the baby is, and I will not. I won't find out till I cross the finish line of the half marathon on Sunday.
Yeah, we're going to make some banners and you know.
Yeah, the banner will have
the name.
the
stuff.
baby's name on it.
And there's a medal, a race medal, that I'm gonna etch the baby's name into, and when she crosses, I'm gonna give her. She's gonna get her marathon medal, but I'm also gonna give her this personal.
Yeah, I ordered I tried to find a medal for like a marathon that you would use for announcing a pregnancy, but marathoning is not normal while pregnant.
No.
So I found this little medal. It has two little kids running on it, and he'll etch the baby's name on the back of it.
Yeah.
Now, so what will be the moment that you, Katie, find out?
Well,
what's the first thing you'll see?
The banner with
Okay.
the
You're gonna
baby's
cross
name
over
on
the
it as
hill,
I'm crossing.
see the finish line, and then
Yeah, where the finish line is, it's at the bottom of this very, I wouldn't even call it hill. It's like a bump, but I'll come over this part of the road and they'll have everything down there. So it'll probably be not even an eighth of a mile away when I'll see it from the finish line. So
yeah, it's gonna be cool. And you know that whole marathon, you're gonna be running, thinking, man, I gotta get to that finish line.
So which one of you came up with this idea?
Oh, it's all her.
I did, because
Okay.
I didn't want to find out what the baby was.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's excited. He wants to know. And then it's my mom's first grandchild. She wants to know. And all of his family wants to know. So I was like, well, if we're going to find out, I don't want to find out from the ultrasound tech. So
Yeah.
we figured out the dates coincided with halfway through my pregnancy. I talked to my doctor about it. And so she was able to schedule the gender ultrasound early. Because normally I think she does it at like 20 weeks. Or between 20 and I think 23 weeks.
Okay.
So she let us do it early for this. So
Well, very good.
Pretty neat.
Well, good luck with the race.
thank you.
And
Yeah, you'll be there, right?
I will be there.
Yeah.
I will be
Yes.
there.
So you will find out with me.
Yeah, we're gonna get some pictures and post them up on the
Yeah,
site.
absolutely. Certainly.
Oh, yeah.
We'll put them all over the Boomerang X Facebook page and everything else. So there's been a very recent development with regards to everything that you're doing. And you, just last week, were in New Orleans. In fact, both of you went to New Orleans. You were involved with taping a television show with Chef Jeff Henderson of the Food Network.
Yes.
Flip My Food is the name of his show.
So tell us, first of all, how did that even come about?
About, I don't know, beginning of February or so, I had, someone had notified me on Facebook that they were looking for pregnant women for a health food show. And it's called Flip My Food. I don't normally get to, I had never heard of it before. So I thought it was a local food show. Well, I sent an email to the lady and got all the information. I started looking it up and researching it, and I found out it was for the Food Network. And so it's from, the show's called Flip My Food. And so what it is, I had to send in an audition tape, and I sent it in to just a video of myself talking about different cravings during pregnancy or things that I liked and whatnot. And I sent it off to them, and the producers in Los Angeles, they got one from me, and then we found out that there was a lot of ladies in New Orleans that sent one in, and ladies all over the state of Louisiana that sent them in. But they chose me to be on the show because he did a special series of just pregnant women for that one episode.
Yeah, the episode name was Bun in the Oven.
Yeah, Bun in the Oven. So I got to go on the show with him, and I got to cook with him and everything like that. So it was pretty cool.
Man, and I tell you, when she told me about it, she's like, all right, yeah, I found it on Facebook, and I auditioned, I sent in an audition tape, and they accepted me, and it's in New Orleans. I was like, okay, cool, where at? She says the place was called Ninth Ward Studios.
I was a little skeptical about that at
Are you
first.
sure this is for real? I don't want to burst your bubble, but it kind of sounds, you found it online, it kind of sounds fake. And so I look it up on top of her looking it all up, and what it was after Katrina wiped everything out over there, the owner got the studio up and running, and they've actually done 4 or 5 movies there, and a lot of shows. They do a lot of shows there also, and so it's legit. It's nice.
Well, yeah,
For
you were
that
there.
area.
You saw everything. So what else do we know about? Do we know when it's going to air, where it's going to air?
I'm not sure of that yet. It won't air until probably April or May, because they do them so far in advance.
Yeah.
But the
So
episodes,
once you were on the set, what exactly did you do?
I cooked a meal with him. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what the meal was
Okay.
publicly.
Okay.
But on TV set, it was basically me and him talking and cooking the whole time. He was asking different questions like about my pregnancy, running while being pregnant, when we're going to find out what the baby is. It was interesting. There was one part where he was asking what the names of the baby would be. And we were like, well, if it's a boy, it'll be Austin James, but if it's a girl, it'll be Gracie Elizabeth. And he stopped for a second and just looked at me. I was like, well, what? Coming to find out I think one of his younger daughters, he has 6 children. Her name's Grace Elizabeth, and they call her Gracie.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
yeah.
So how long were you on the set?
I was on set taping for probably 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
So it'll probably be a 7 to 10 minute segment on the show itself, but we cooked the whole meal during that time period. So.
Yeah. And man, it was so cool being backstage watching it all. And actually, I'll post some pictures of that too. So we're in this huge where they shoot movies at, and they just pulled the food truck in there.
Okay.
And set the cameras up. So. Remember in the last episode, Neff was talking about how they filmed that movie in his house. And it was storming and crazy outside,
right.
But in the house, it was...
it looked like daylight.
The lighting
right.
and everything. Man, they had some orange shade over one of the lights, and it just looked like summer in that thing. And it's like probably 35 degrees in there because it's not heated. It's just like a warehouse kind of where they do.
Yeah, there's no insulation in that place.
And man, so I had my jacket on. It was cold, and... They look fine, so I'm guessing they had some warmth going on from the food.
We had warmth from cooking and then from the lights.
From the lights, yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
Those lights put out a lot of heat.
They do.
Yeah.
But, so, anyways, she was on set for about 30 minutes, and about 20 minutes in, one of his sous chefs, who's also backstage just watching it all happen, he's like, "Hey man, you wanna taste all the food?" I was like, "Well, yeah." And he goes, "All right, you're gonna have to get on camera to do it." I was like, "All right, I don't got a problem with that." And so he walks off, and the director's wife, who did the makeup and everything, she came and she looks at me. She's like, "Yeah, I hear you're going on set." I was like, "Yeah, I hear that too." She kind of looks at me, looks up and down. I like it, because she was the makeup woman, and
right.
I was like, "She's not about to put makeup on me, is she?"
Did she?
No, she didn't. She just looks up and down, and then she asked, she's like, "You want your hat on?" And I took it off, and she's like, "Yeah, you're gonna have your hat on." And my hair was a mess. And then so I went and got mic'd up. But this is what's funny is, and I'm just probably on for a minute,
right?
Tasting the food and stuff. Man, right before we go on, they tell me to take my jacket off. And like I said, it was freezing cold. I take my jacket off and my nipples are poking out.
On top of that, he's wearing a white t-shirt with probably armpit stains because it's a workout Under Armour
So I was
shirt.
not camera ready at all.
Me, I got up 2 hours before we left that morning to get ready to be on television. You have him walking on like he just walked out of bed or something.
So it's I'm there for comic relief, I guess.
No,
the food was amazing.
Yeah.
Mean,
were you nervous at all?
At first, I was very nervous.
If you were, I couldn't tell it while you were filming because it didn't. I mean, I couldn't tell at all.
Maybe I should be an actress. No,
yeah, for real.
I wasn't nervous until we probably pulled up to the studio. I got really nervous.
Well, the neighborhood is that why the neighborhood?
No,
because it's sketchy, man.
The neighborhood was sketchy.
I mean, you know how when the National Guard went through and like checking houses, clearing houses, and putting X and the death toll.
Oh, there was one house.
There was a house. There were 2 or 3 right across from the studio.
That were still standing.
That were still standing.
Oh,
and
people
still
are
had
living
X.
in them.
Yeah.
But it still had all of
still had the X on the door and everything.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So that
there's
has
a ways to go with the recovery of the Ninth Ward is what you're telling.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's still a ways. But this show, it wasn't... he made it very comforting.
The whole crew was awesome.
They were really awesome. I talked with the director's wife. She's actually from Los Angeles originally. They just moved to New Orleans around that area, and she's actually done makeup on E! Entertainment and different types of shows in LA. And then the chef himself, he was an executive chef at the Bellagio in Vegas. He was the first African American chef, head chef there. He had a rough start, but he's definitely come out and proven himself.
He has quite a story.
Oh yeah, he does. But he's definitely he's an awesome chef, that's for sure.
Well, it sounds very exciting and like a lot of fun. What we'll do is we will definitely keep our listeners
closer to the release date.
Updated about the information as we get it and as we're allowed to put it out. And we will definitely keep everybody updated with regards to that. Look forward to seeing that on the air. I'll tell you what, I want to take a real quick break, and then we'll come back in just a second. Thanks again for coming back with us as we start to wrap things up here just a little bit. I do want to make an apology. As we've been recording in our studio, we have had some outside noises that may have been filtering in.
Those kids out there having fun.
Yeah, typically we're putting down an episode at
pretty late.
Midnight. For the most part, kids aren't outside. This evening we're working a little bit earlier, and we've had some noise coming in. Hopefully we'll be able to get most of it out. If we don't, if some of it bleeds through,
just know it's some kids out there enjoying life. And
if we don't, sorry, that's where we are. It is what it is. But Katie, I do want to give you a chance to talk just a little bit more about some of your affiliations and the ways that people can maybe get a hold of some products through you, using your name, your codes, your information. Before we go, if you could sort of summarize that for us.
Okay. For the first one, the I Live Limitless, you can find the apparel line of Brendan's at ilivelimitless.com. The code, it's a 20% off discount code, and it's KE20. And when you submit that into your checkout, you can put that in, and it'll take that amount off of your total product.
What, 20%?
20%.
Cool.
So it's KE20. And then with the Cellucor, you go to cellucor.com for your product discount. The code is Waldrop, WALDROP, and that gets you 25% off of your ending total with free shipping as well. And for those that know the Cellucor products, that's a very good discount. And Cellucor, if your products, you're looking for mass gainers for muscle building, you're looking to kind of get fat loss, they have different products such as the Super HD and the CLK to stack those two together. They have whey protein products that are about 25 grams of protein per scoop, and they're low in fat and carbs, so it's a really good supplement. And then also they have a good line of they have some a few apparel products as well. And the I Live Limitless, the clothing line, it's geared toward working out with like the tanks and the shirts and that type of active lifestyle. He has hoodies as well for the colder months.
Okay, so
cool.
Again, just to summarize, that's ilivelimitless.com, and with cellucor.com, that's CELLUCOR, and your code is Waldrop, WALDROP.
Yes.
Get you 25% off plus free shipping. So if you're in the market for any of these products, please check those out. Evan, I guess that wraps it up for us. Katie, where can our listeners look you up and find more out about you, follow you as you go through your multifaceted life?
They can find me on Instagram at KD_ANN, and they can find me on Facebook as well. It's Katie Eddington, Katie Ann Eddington. So.
Okay.
And you can find me on Facebook at...
And then I do have a blog that I post ever so often, and it's katieannfitness.com.
Okay. That wraps it up for this episode. Thanks again for joining us, Katie. Thank you so much for coming into our nice, quiet, professional studio. I hope we weren't too much of a letdown just a few days after your appearance with
the professional.
Yeah.
Professional here.
But again, thanks a lot. We enjoyed having you, and I'm sure we'll do this again at some point.
Yes, well, thank y'all very much.
Evan, run us out of here with ways people can keep in contact with us.
So we got... Email us at theboomerandxshow@yahoo.com. Send us topic ideas. Thank yous for making your day so much better, for listening. Whatever, anything like that. Go to our Facebook page. It's The Boomer and X Show. And on that, we have other info like our website, links to our iTunes. Of course, on our iTunes, you can always go on there and leave us a review. And that would be awesome if you did that. And... Go check Katie out. Let her know how awesome it was to have her on the show. And that's about it. That's all I got, y'all.
Good night.
Y'all have a good one.
Good night.